the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey everybody, I'm Ernie Johnson, and trick-or-treating door-to-door with me tonight are Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Happy Halloween, everybody. It's very
trick-or-treat, give me something good to eat.
And tonight, it'll be the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Brooklyn Nets. And for Brooklyn, they haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. And the ghouls and goblins are out as we're hosting here on Halloween night. Oh, that is very scary, Shaq. I see you decided not to dress for the occasion.
Well, when you're 7 feet and as sexy as I am, you don't need a costume. Plus, I took my kids trick-or-treating before I came here. Ernie, father duties.
Wow. I just remember the worst trick that I ever got in the bag.
Trick in the
on
bag?
Trick-or-treat. Yeah, it was the worst.
Welcome, everyone. We have a very special treat for you here. No trick, it's the NBA on Halloween. It's a special October 31st matchup. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke on our sideline. Here in Memphis, we have an interconference matchup with the Grizzlies looking to create some cheers for this crowd. This game against Brooklyn here, it's their first look at the Nets. In the two meetings last year, they came away with wins, never losing.
Yeah, and they took both games they played against this club last season.
Yeah, Greg, I like this matchup for them. Not a cakewalk, it's not going to be easy, but they clearly have the advantage.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. Brook Lopez is out there with Thomas Robinson. Then it's Jarrett Jack, and it's Bogdanovich in at the three. Well, Memphis loves the grit and grind mentality of this Grizzlies team. We all know that. They are at their most fearsome, I think, right here in the grindhouse.
No doubt about it. Some names just stick, and everyone here knows when you say grindhouse, you're talking about the FedEx Forum. Memphis so strong in this building.
A little shot fake there, got the D out of position. Kilpatrick's got his first bucket of the night. Conley against Jack. Conley dishes to Randolph, and that one falls coming off Conley's feet.
Well, I tell you, last year, guys, the Grizzlies lived up to the nickname of the Grindhouse. Top 5 defense here at home, and a lot of close wins that could have gone either way, but they grinded them out.
For Memphis, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And those close wins and that blue-collar attitude is really what helped Memphis get to a 31-10 record here at home. I mean, good for second-best home record in that very tough Western Conference.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe.
And Marc Gasol surprisingly nimble for a 7-footer. He really moves his feet well at both ends of the floor. And sometimes he can hit that deep three, but it's not a high percentage shot for him.
Yeah, even for him, that's out of his range.
Conley, the pass to Randall. Low block shot. That misses off the backboard. And when you look at Marc Gasol now versus when he came into the league, remarkable how that body of his, Clark, has transformed.
Kevin, he changed his diet and he dropped a bunch of weight. Believe it or not, he even grows vegetables at his house. He's really gone all in on the transformation of his body.
Clark, good information.
Yes, sir.
How'd
That's
you know
what we
all
do.
that stuff?
That's what we do here.
Whew.
Info and entertainment.
Oh.
And you could tell they had that play ready to go. Well done on the inbound.
Now we go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Dave Yeager. Doris?
He said the player he'll be watching closely in this matchup is Thomas Robinson. He added, you have to respect the energy he brings to the game. That'll be the challenge for our bigs, is matching that energy and physicality. Guys, Robinson, a guy with a growing skill set, but it's still that athleticism and hustle that's really his calling card. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. Jack for 3. And Vince Carter pulls it down. The Grizzlies trail by 5. Conley kicks to Carter. Launches it. Rebounded by Kilpatrick. Looking at the last game for the Brooklyn Nets, it was a loss to the San Antonio Spurs.
And really, given how they performed offensively, guys, they just never had a chance.
Yeah, and you can see their frustration growing and growing as they continue to come up empty on their possessions. By the end, They were just happy to watch the clock wind down and move on.
And Memphis making a change here. Stevenson's checked in, and the Nets making a change here as well. Sloan's checked in. They double-team Conley. Here's Gasol. Soft touch off the glass.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Nets leading by 3. Fades back. And again, no good by Brooklyn. The Grizzlies have gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. Stevenson kicks to Conley. Randolph a screen. Passes it to Gasol. And so the ball goes out of bounds. Lopez touched it last. Some changes for Memphis. Anderson, he's checked in for Gasol. Wright comes in for Zach Randolph. And Matt Barnes is subbed in for Allen. And Wright with the basket on the assist by Barnes.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
The Nets have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. Nets were pretty far back from relevance at times last season, as we saw. It took a late season hot streak for them, Greg, to get into the playoff picture.
Yeah, and that was a neck-and-neck race with the Pacers right till the very end. Not exactly what they had in mind at the start of the season, but they did pull through.
And here are the Grizzlies now, following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt. The shot's good from Ellington.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Now here's Anderson. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Got a piece of it. Shot clock at 6. And there's the foul. It's on Donald Sloan. That is his first foul of the game. Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly, but last season they were put up for sale, surprisingly to some, Clark, midway through the year.
Yeah, that was odd timing given the new arena and rebranding. I mean, you would think after all that effort to rebuild the team, you would see it through.
Now, here's Stevenson. He had 16 points in the win against the Pacers in Indianapolis.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
The Nets have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks.
And for the Nets being put up for sale, a big part of it was they were a team that was supposed to compete for titles. And since the move to Brooklyn, they have had trouble going deep in the playoffs.
They get it back. Here's Wright. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, his reputation. Clark grinding away, 100% effort all the time.
And Kevin, all that effort pays off. How many of those spectacular putback jams do we see from this guy? A bunch.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Scooped up. Pass to Hollis Jefferson. Here's Sloan. Knocks down the 3 ball. Sloan's got himself on the board with 3 there. Here is Stevenson. Now here's Barnes. He got it up that time. And the Grizzlies, a team that's dealt with their share of tough playoff losses. But, you talk to point guard.
We feel like we're a team.
One big reason why not them is what happened to Conley. Greg losing him in the playoffs last year was the biggest adversity they went through. Can you make a case that it just made them tougher, or did it really take something out of them?
Kevin, it's really hard to say. A tough break, obviously, losing Mike, and I mean that literally as well. But their problems did set them back, and maybe they can be just as good as anybody else, but until they are, they're going to have some issues.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And taking a look at the Nets' performance here, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
The roof is up right now, guys. It's raining in here. A lot of threes through the first.
Hey, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and they have not let up from beyond the arc.
Time now for an injury report.
Well, guys, the head athletic trainer for Brooklyn let me know the status. He told me he's suffering from back spasms, so they put some ice on it and gave him some painkillers. A discouraging development for this team so early in the season. We'll see what kind of impact it has on them in the long term, guys.
All right, Doris, we will, of course, keep everyone updated as we find out more.
And you know what? He could have a long road ahead in terms of getting back on the court. But one thing we all know, he's never been shy of hard work.
No, he's not. I mean, he'll be doing everything he can to make it back as soon as possible.
And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. Nash is out there with Hollis Jefferson. Then it's Thomas Robinson. And then there's Henry Sims. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3 slot. And the Grizzlies making a change here. Carter's checked in.
You know, Dave Yeager, the coach for the Grizzlies, has really become a big-name coach quite quickly. You know, he's worked his way up the Memphis coaching ladder and has had a ton of success early on in his career.
Nash against Conley. Inside. And it's Carter missing.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
Kilpatrick. That's in, and that's his 4th basket of the night. He's taken 7 shots, a solid 57%.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. And he made it look easy that time.
And it's Carter missing.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
And it's Kilpatrick missing. The Grizzlies trail by 4. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Jarrett Jack has checked in for Brooklyn.
Second team foul. Next substitution, Jarrett Jack.
And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Allen, that's good.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But boy, that was a nice job.
Another foul would give him 3 before the half. Something to keep an eye on, guys.
Third team foul.
With some arc, he takes it up and lays it in. Allen's got the game tied up here for the Grizzlies.
Oh, such a field shot there, the floater.
Well, I tell you, the Grizzlies guys were really dominant in the first half of the season last year, but after the All-Star break, barely played above 500.
Now Conley. He had 10 points in the win against Indiana.
You know, and in watching that game, he did a really nice job of passing the basketball, scoring and setting up his teammates. The heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
And Memphis would end up going 16-13 over the back half of last season. Down the stretch, they would only go 5 up and 5 down in their final 10.
Yeah, and Kevin, all those games so important as they jockeyed for position in the West. It was so fluid and volatile down the stretch. They could have been anywhere from a 2nd seed to a 6th on any given day, and they just happened to slump at the wrong time.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Anderson, he's checked in for Gasol. White comes in for Zach Randolph. And it's Barnes in for Tony Allen. Here's Jack. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
And Kevin, a remarkable night for him passing the basketball as well. He did a great job racking up the assists.
They double-team Conley. And that's a foul. It's called on Wayne Ellington. That is his first foul of the game.
His first personal foul. 14 foul.
Outside Conley.
And the Grizzlies, guys, a powerful post-play team. Mike Conley, though, is still the straw that stirs the drink. I mean, he may be the most underrated point guard in our league. His quickness and ability to penetrate the lane brings a great balance to their offense.
And Conley at 6'1", about 175. Pretty slight frame, but Clark, he doesn't get pushed around.
Well, he embraces the team's tough defensive style. He gets into you, racks up steals, and he's really a committed defender.
Some firepower, Clark, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively. And that's an example of willpower right there, guys. I mean, grabbing the offensive rebound and then going back up strong.
And GA, in a close game like this where every possession is critical, that could prove to be a very big one.
Boy, it sure could, Kevin. I mean, he salvaged 2 big points for them off that miss.
Here's Carter to the wing on the left. Barnes with it. Robinson picks him up. Outside Conley, 6 on the shot clock, and it's good. Now it's a 6-point Memphis lead. Brooklyn's gotten into trouble with the 3-ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts. To stop the run, and Wright pulls it down.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
And there's the foul. It's on Donald Sloan. So that will be his second foul of the game in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. And he knocks down the first one. Clark, Brandon Wright was moving all over the league last year, all over the map, traded twice, once from Dallas to Boston, then again sent to Phoenix where he finished up the season.
Kevin, he was only with Boston for 8 games after the trade. He seemed to find a better home when he was with Phoenix.
Robinson for 3. Hollis Jefferson passes to Lopez. And it's Memphis on the break. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there. And they're really getting more points at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
And Greg, definitely that's one of the reasons they're in front right now.
From deep 3-point range, it's rebounded by Memphis. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was...
That'll do it for the first half. Grizzlies.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny Smith and Shaquille. For the Grizzlies, the first quarter was pretty even. Some good action during the period, as it was just a 1-point game at the end of 1. They showed their superiority, and that's it for halftime, as the second half is just...
And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast. Randolph is the 4 with Gasol in the middle, Conley and Allen in the backcourt, and it's Carter in at the small forward. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Dave Yeager. Here's Randolph. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. Randolph's got the first bucket of the third here for the Grizzlies. Jack dishes to Lopez. Good, and Jack gets the assist. Jack's got 4 assists now tonight.
Now that's an old school move right there. A good one, too, the fadeaway.
Conley against Jack. The feed to Carter. The layup off target. Nets trail by 9. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. One bit of news for the Grizzlies last year is that they acquired a single affiliation deal with a Clark, a D-League team, which you think is going to help them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that team is the Iowa Energy. They're a sole partner now with the Iowa Energy. Good move by the team in what is becoming a growing trend in the NBA.
And for Memphis and the D-League, they made the most of it. Sent 3 players for a total of 14 assignments with the Energy, and that's how you make the most of an affiliate. And looking now at some of the numbers for Brook Lopez, he had a strong showing last season. 11th in blocks, and a great touch around the rim. Top 15 in field goal percentage.
And, you know, anytime you take it inside against him, you know it may be coming back the other way.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
You know, considering the Grizzlies and their D-League partnership, it really makes sense for the franchise. Memphis has always been a place where they grow their own talent. A lot of good players have come out of Memphis. Not a lot of big names signed in free agency by the Grizzlies.
And the second free throw, good.
And Thomas Robinson has been on a lot of teams here in his short time in the league. Not easy to find a spot when you're always getting moved.
Conley kicks to Allen. He dishes it to Randolph. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half. Got it. Good job in the low post.
His shooting has been outstanding here. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn. And for Robinson, the trade's way on him as well. Clarkie said last season that he just wants to prove that he belongs here.
Well, you know, he's yet to find the right fit for a team, but the skill set is clearly there. I mean, he's an NBA player. There's no doubt about that. Looked great for Philadelphia near the end of the year as he got minutes with them.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it, gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
And it's Carter penetrating to the paint and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. That's going to be on Jarrett Jack. Now we know the Marc Gasol was one of the most sought-after free agents this past summer. Clark, all along, most figured he'd be back in Memphis.
Yep, a winning team, max dollars. And don't forget now, he went to high school in Memphis while his brother Powell played there. He's where he belongs.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Sloan's checked in.
Marc Gasol, a first-time All-Star starter last season. He and his brother Powell both starting in that game. The first time that's ever happened in league history, and having both those guys go head-to-head.
And it's time for an injury report. Let's check in with Doris Berg for an injury update on Jarrett Jack. Doris?
Well, guys, the head athletic trainer for Brooklyn let me know the status. He told me that it doesn't look too serious. If he were to miss significant time, it would really hurt this team that depends on him for so many things. Guys, time will tell.
Thank you, Doris. Boy, you always hate to see anyone ever deal with any sort of injury.
And almost for every player, it's inevitable. I mean, injuries are going to happen no matter how well you take care of yourself.
And let's just hope the rehab process doesn't drag on any longer than it has to.
Well, listen, there's no doubt you could argue Marc Gasol is the best center in the league right now. I mean, this guy does it all. Defends, rebounds, passes, scores. I mean, he's also a great teammate. They all love him. And to me, that matters in the big picture. When you're talking about developing chemistry and trust, sometimes the difference between winning and winning it all is whether or not your teammates like you.
Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. Conley kicks to Gasol. Charity stripe shot, and that one falls, coming off Conley's feet. Conley's got 6 assists now in the game. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tony Allen. That's foul number 2 for him.
Oh, man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Lance Stevenson's checked in for the Grizzlies. And the Nets making a change here as well. Hollis Jefferson's checked in.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
Whistle blows. Yep, that's going to be a travel. Some changes for Memphis. Wright comes in for Zach Randolph. And it's Barnes in for Mike Conley. Steve Nash, he's checked in for Brooklyn. And Stevenson kicks to Allen. Terrific assist, a nice finish. Solid play all around.
Well, they've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's why they're on this run. You get that close to the hoop, and it's a lot easier to make shots.
And the Grizzlies leading by 18. Not much to complain about for Brooklyn fans with the Nets' road play last year. Looked pretty much the same as they did at home.
And Kevin, that can cut both ways. I mean, the Nets were 19-22 on the road, exactly the same record they had at Barclays.
Sims, the pass to Lopez. From 13 feet, it goes down. Lopez has got his second basket of the night.
Just a major size difference between the defender and shooter on that possession.
And Greg, without a hand in his face, he's simply going to spray whoever's there.
Stevenson with it, guarded now by Nash. Here's Gasol. Shot no good. And it's the Nets taking it the other way.
And for the Nets, on the road, they did have some differences. As a team, they shot better on the road than at home by a significant margin.
Grizzlies have gone 8 of 12 from the field since the beginning of the third. Allen dishes to Stevenson. And Wright kicks to Allen. Tries again. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Memphis.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
Yeah, but I also like the balance because they're doing a great job of getting inside and converting around the rim. I really like their aggressiveness.
Chris Anderson is checked in for Marc Gasol. Thomas Robinson, he's checked in for the Nets. Ellington comes in for Donald Sloan.
You know, overall, the Nets had the same road record as they did at home. I mean, but late last year, they were the only team with more road wins than home wins. That was the case until their final game of the season, actually.
Shot clock at 6. Barnes passes to Allen. From deep, Stevenson. Rebound, Brooklyn. Lopez has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. It's rebounded by Stevenson.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
That's a quick bucket there. Solid in transition.
Well, you know, he loves the chance to get out and run, and we could see right there why he does.
Robinson misses.
High quality shot, just a little off.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. Nets trail by 18, setting the floor for the Nets. Robinson is out there with Bogdanovich. Then it's Brook Lopez. Then it's Jarrett Jack. And it's Kilpatrick in at the 2 spot. Jack with it. Conley picks him up. Stolen by Anderson. Now here's Conley, the fast break opportunity. And finished off by Carter.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play.
And guys, looking at Jarrett Jack, one word comes to mind: professional. I mean, he's as solid as they come. Tough, capable, experienced, and he proved it all again last season.
And Memphis making a change here. Gasol's checked in. And the Grizzlies leading by 18. Gasol a screen. In the corner, it's Stevenson. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Talking about Jarrett Jack, he is especially dangerous at the end of the game. Not only does he make great decisions, Clark, he was a top 10 free throw shooter last season.
Yeah, experienced, tough-minded ball handlers and shot makers are always valuable, especially when it's winning time.
And for the Grizzlies, they're shooting a tremendous 61% from the floor, hitting on all cylinders. And the foul on Jarrett Jack, and that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
His 3rd personal foul. 1st team foul.
4th quarter still young, just over a minute. Look at that. That's not as easy as he made it look, guys. You've got to have some skills to pull that baby off.
Well, he's got plenty of those skills necessary.
And you know what? That man can climb a ladder.
Here's Jack. Soft touch off the glass. Jack's got 4 this quarter. And the Grizzlies leading by 17. Conley kicks to Randolph. It's number 9 to fall. He's only taken 10 shots.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Jack for 3, and that one's good.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those three-point attempts.
And those triples, they sure do add up quickly, don't they? I mean, they've got to make some kind of adjustment here.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. After the Nets' big moves the past couple years, they were looked at as an older team, but you break it down, and you know, Greg, they're not as old as you think.
Actually had the 5th youngest team of anyone in the postseason. And so, though they seem older just because so many of their players had playoff experience or came into the league at a young age.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Dave Yeager coaching his team during that break. He was intent on running the offense through Randolph. Coach is looking for big things from him throughout the rest of this game on the offensive end. A lot of the scoring burden will fall on him. Gentlemen, some late game adjustments that could prove crucial in the game's closing moments. Kevin, over to you.
Thanks, Doris. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
That's exactly when you need to be aggressive, Greg. You know that. I mean, another good job, though, of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line.
Good on both. Last season, Memphis fell late and would end up with the 5th seed in the NBA playoffs. Only one of 2 teams to make the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons, along with the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and they were a team that nobody wanted to play. Memphis drew Portland in that first round, and even though they were the 5th seed, they had home court advantage.
Here's Carter, and that's out of bounds. Memphis will retain possession. And we're about 3 minutes into the 4th quarter.
His first personal foul. Second team foul.
Stevenson dishes to Carter, and that one's good.
You know, guys, Memphis waltzed through the first round against Portland. The second round, a lot tougher against Golden State. They went up 2-1 in that series, but couldn't hold on to that lead. Excellent, really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
Brooklyn with the rebound.
Boy, did they need that rebound. I mean, they have struggled on the boards overall, but still with a chance to win.
Exactly, because they've made enough plays to keep it close. And as a result, they're still in it.
Gasol, that's good, and it's Stevenson with the assist. 9 points for Marc Gasol.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
And guys, Memphis would lose 2 of their 3 games at home against Golden State. So things got tough with the Conley injury and missing Tony Allen as well. But they did put up a good fight, ultimately, though, falling in 6 games to the Warriors.
Allen's checked in for Memphis. And a switch here for Brooklyn. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for Bogdanovich. Here's Randolph in, and his hot hand continues. 10 of 11 from the floor and looking for more.
I tell you what, I don't know what he did in the locker room, but he needs to do a little bit more of it because he's on fire.
And the basket by Kilpatrick.
The D has gotten a little lax defending the three-point shot at that end.
Yeah, 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have come from beyond.
They double-team Conley, and it's Brook Lopez with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
14 foul.
1:43 left to play here in the 4th. Allen. Carter, the pass to Gasol. Can't get it to go. Good D by Lopez. Nets trail by 14. Hollis Jefferson, good.
You know, obviously, he knows how to finish with some flair.
The Grizzlies have gone 8 of 13 from the field since the start of the 4th, sinking the majority of their shots. Randolph, no one around him. It's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. Robinson for 3, and it's Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. They're really pushing them around. Straight bully ball.
Great open look there. And the Grizzlies lead by 16.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for Memphis.
Clark, what do you think was the deciding factor in this one?
Simply field goal percentage. They shot the ball much better than the opponent.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Randolph. Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
And again, no good by Brooklyn. And here are the Grizzlies now. They have a 19-point lead. And Adams kicks to Barnes. Over in the corner, Allen. Memphis moving that ball around. Dishes to Barnes. Just 5 on the clock. A 3-ball. Can't get it to go. So no problem for Memphis.